spent decades constructing one of the most carefully guarded reputations in the automotive industry, and it took one man with a camera, a rental body shop in Florida, and a handful of rebranded Volkswagen Group components to quietly take the whole structure apart. What followed from that exposure? Porsche selling their entire 45% stake in Bugatti Rimac while simultaneously offloading their 20.6% position in Rimac Group to an outside buyer, landed with the kind of weight that the automotive world is still trying to process. The buyer isn't Stuttgart. The buyer isn't Wolfsburg. The controlling financial interest in Bugatti now sits with HOF Capital, a New York-based investment firm, with Blue 5 Capital positioned as the largest individual backer alongside institutional money drawn from across the United States and the European Union filling out the rest of the structure. Bugatti had been part of the Volkswagen Group since 1998, and that relationship ended here. The timing relative to Mat Armstrong's public exposures has millions of viewers drawing connections that nobody at Porsche or Bugatti appears eager to address directly. Mat Armstrong didn't approach this with any strategic objective beyond fixing a car the manufacturer said couldn't be fixed. He purchased a crash purple Chiron, a car that Mat Rimac, co-founder and controlling figure behind Bugatti Rimac, had publicly described as unrepairable outside specialized facilities designed specifically for the brand's architecture, and Armstrong started filming the entire process from the first day in the shop. Bob, a welder working out of a rental body shop without factory tooling or Bugatti certified credentials, split the chassis, completed the structural work, and produced welds that exceeded what left the factory floor during original production. The car that Rimac said required one of only 3 locations on Earth capable of handling Bugatti repairs was being rebuilt in Florida by independent specialists who charged a fraction of what the manufacturer quoted for the same scope of work. Every step went on camera, and the videos spread across YouTube with the kind of reach that marketing departments spend millions trying to manufacture. That specific claim about 3 facilities became a particular point of focus. Rimac had gone on record saying that only 3 places in the world possessed the capability to handle Bugatti repairs at the level the cars required, and the implication was that this restriction existed because of genuine engineering complexity rather than commercial strategy. Armstrong's rebuttal came without a single word of argument. His rebuttal was footage of a body shop in Florida doing the job to a higher standard than what the factory produced, with none of the specialized infrastructure Rimac described anywhere in sight. And when the airbag components came off the car during the rebuild, the part numbers told a story that no amount of branding could reframe. Those numbers matched Audi A3 airbags exactly, not approximately, not to similar specification, but the same part numbers appearing in both a family hatchback and a multi-million-dollar hypercar with Bugatti badging on top. Armstrong put the numbers on screen side by side and let the viewers do the math. The Veyron exposure followed with equal impact on the brand's standing. A gearbox repair carrying a manufacturer quote of $300,000 traced back to a $5 fuse, and that single data point documented with the same methodical on-camera approach Armstrong applied to the Chiron project reframed what Bugatti's service pricing structure actually represented to the people paying it. The exclusivity that justified those bills, the carefully maintained narrative of unmatched technical complexity that required manufacturer involvement at every stage of repair, started looking less like an engineering reality and more like an information barrier that had been profitably maintained for decades without customers ever being told it existed. The cars were real, the engineering was real, the gatekeeping was constructed. Porsche's exit from the arrangement arrived with an official explanation, and the financial picture behind it is genuinely severe. In 2025, Porsche's operating profit collapsed by 93% year-on-year, which is not a soft quarter or a cyclical dip, but a near-total destruction of profitability within a single year, driven simultaneously by slowing electric vehicle adoption rates, climbing production costs across the supply chain, and the broader restructuring crisis working through the Volkswagen Group's multiple brands and operations. Michael Leiters stepped into the CEO role carrying a single directive from the board: restore profitability and direct the company's energy back toward its core business. In that situation, maintaining a 45% stake in a hypercar joint venture alongside a minority position in a Croatian electric vehicle startup became impossible to defend to shareholders who needed to see concrete recovery measures rather than premium brand exposure sitting on a balance sheet that needed urgent repair. The sale removed both positions simultaneously. Bugatti now stands independent for the first time since Ferdinand Piëch folded the brand into the Volkswagen Group back in 1998 and committed billions of euros to developing the Veyron across nearly a decade of engineering work. For close to 3 decades following that acquisition, Bugatti operated as a Volkswagen Group asset, accessing the group's engineering resources, financial infrastructure, and parts supply network. That connection is fully severed now. The physical cars still carry Volkswagen Group engineering throughout their construction. The Audi A3 airbag part numbers haven't changed on any car already built, and nothing about the product itself has shifted, but the institutional backing that absorbed Bugatti's losses and provided strategic cover since the late 90s no longer exists in any form. Mate Rimac now carries full control of the brand without Porsche shareholders reviewing quarterly performance metrics, without Volkswagen Group management influencing strategic direction from Wolfsburg, and without any corporate safety net available to absorb a difficult production year or an unexpected liability issue at scale. The automotive community's read on that outcome has been running in 2 directions at the same time.